right, listen up, guys. Winter is here. And if you're powering through the holiday chaos like I am, it's time to ditch the coffee jitters. I want you to try Mudwater. This is a clean coffee alternative that will keep you energetic without the crash. I'm talking chai, cacao, and adaptogens like lion's mane and reishi. Every ingredient in Mudwater is organic, non-GMO, it's vegan, gluten-free, and guys, get ready for this, there is zero sugar. That's what makes Mudwater the perfect way to keep energy clean and focused with no late night regrets. You can say goodbye to those sleepless nights. Mudwater's gonna give you all the fuel with none of the burnouts. Guys, take a scoop, put it in water, stir, sit back and drink. It's that easy. I like to add creamer and sometimes I get real fancy and put a little honey in there. That's up to you. And I got a deal for you. I want you to go to mudwtr.com/Chael. That's a 43% savings. Right now, we're going to include free shipping and we're even going to put in a free frother. When they ask, tell them I sent you. Get a new boost in life this winter with Mudwater. Head to mudwater.com right now. Get your starter pack today or just click on the link below.
Did Adesanya get a fight? There's this guy, total stud. Not doing the condescending where I can't produce his name. It's very, very hard to say. Total stud. And you'll remember him because he fought Robert Whittaker right before Whittaker fought Chimaev. Turns into a number one contenders match. So this guy, one win away from being a number one contenders match. Total stud, but he's linked to Israel Adesanya. Is that accurate? And is he so interesting? He's so calculated. He's playing a different game. He and Sean O'Malley are the only ones playing this game. And you're either following that and you appreciate it or you don't. But if you're ever in life, guys, any of you are entrepreneurs or you want to go into business, the one that the professor won't tell you, the one that your dad that owns a landscaping company, or the lesson in the book that you're going to have a hard time finding is you want to find something where your profits exceed your expenditures that you can duplicate over and over and over again. You want to find something that is successful that you can then duplicate over and over again. Izzy found the right recipe. His third fight into the UFC. And I could only imagine what he would have tried in the boxing world or the kickboxing world. I would love to get some old videos on Izzy as he was like working through the kinks. But part of Izzy's fascinating because he's rich. Are you guys aware when Izzy signed his contract just before his second fight with Robert Whittaker, it made him the highest paid guy in the UFC, not named Conor McGregor. Conor's got a different deal. Are you guys aware of that? So, how are you going to be rich? How are you going to be famous? How are you going to get all the attention and be a man of the people? How? Well, he talks directly to you. He talks to you as though he's one of you. And he treats you as though he's one of you, right? He's the only multi-millionaire that's going to get out of the ring with a gold belt and put it on Booger Bear's shoulder. That's it. That's who he is. But part of that, and part of talking directly to you, is he tells you who he's going to fight. And he never, and I do mean never, has been told no. He puts a plan out there that is so good, and he puts it out on the right channels, such as into the microphone that Joe Rogan is holding before they fade to black and roll the credits, that you can't unwind it. It would take you $100,000 in media and press releases just to stop the snowball that he got started. And it would cost you another $500,000 to recreate a different direction, of which fans would be confused. Like, he is so good at steering his own career. So that's where I got to ask you, is he fighting somebody? Because why didn't I hear it from Izzy? And what's different? Did it come from Izzy? Is that where you guys got it? And I'm behind. All possible. And I'm just curious, right? I'm just curious on a new system. A new system that Izzy would have to go through. And you got to understand, his last system got interrupted. He was not handed the microphone at the end of the night. Not in the same regard. He didn't have the same outcome. I'm just sharing. So when you've got to adjust, I find those things fascinating. I am interested in those types of things. If you guys got this information from Izzy, in what platform? Where did he put this out? If you have a link, I go through all the comments. If you have a link, I would love to see it because I just happen to miss it. Now, I was in practice when this news came out. The guys were talking about it. Colby had a training session, winding down. He started the weight cut, and he's getting real close to 3 gallons of water a day, and the sodium's been pulled. It's one of these situations. He looked good. Oh my goodness, he looked good. Attitude. I have never seen him like this. I have never seen him. It's an attitude. I got to leave it at that. But while we're in there and we're watching, and it was just one-on-one, Colby's going in with Sojic, and by the way, get this Sojic guy out here. He flew in from Croatia, and he was this incredible trainer. Good look. Oh, he's strong and fit. He's just dripping in sweat, working hard. Wouldn't take water between rounds. I don't know why, but it was one of his self-torture. Self-torture is part of being a good fighter. This was one of his self-torture. They wouldn't take water in between rounds. I know that son of a bitch. I'm looking at him, man. I know this guy. I don't know anybody from Croatia. Just haven't been out there. I don't know anybody. I figured out who he is. I don't know the organization. I don't know if it was in one championship or not. He fights in one now. But he fought and beat Dricus du Plessis. This guy. So he's just sitting there, he's being a training partner, 29 years old, working out with Colby. And I'm watching him, man, I know this guy. That is as far as that story goes, by the way, in case you're wondering, like, hey, Chael, what is your point? I didn't really have a big point, but, you know, you see guys like that, you catch them, you got those clips going around. The one guy grows up, he's in ONE FC and training with Colby at the UFC gym in Tampa 4 days before a main event on the worldwide leader of ESPN. The other guy, in this case, Dricus du Plessis, world champion, headlining shows, becoming an international star. That's interesting. It's very interesting. I don't say this to shine my own wheels, but to insert myself. First guy I ever fought, this guy named Trevor Prangley, tougher than all hell. But we fought in front of the biggest crowd. I remember Randy Couture called me. I was telling him about the fight, and I was so excited. But the biggest thing is there was 200 people there. I competed my whole life. I had never competed in front of this many people. That's what I'm telling Randy. There was 200 people there, man. This thing was crazy. I tell him this whole thing. And I share it largely because Trevor and I rematched in the UFC. And my point to you, those small fights, those regional scenes, if you will, those Mon Pon shows down at the dog track, man, they're hard. They are really, really hard. So I even Googled this. Man, I know this guy, Sojic. I'm looking him up, man. So I even Googled him. Sure enough, it was the guy. He had fought Dricus du Plessis. So while that's going on, I said, man, this is you. And he said, yeah. Commenting and kind of catching up, getting to know one another. In between, he's going in there sparring with Colby. And you get these fight guys on the outside, guys like me, but because there's just these two that are working out, it's not a full practice, but because of that, it creates a massive social situation. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite places to be, is at a workout. You got this entertainment going on, man. You're watching Colby up and down. Got your eye on the clock. You're thinking about some correction. You're thinking about, maybe some advice in between. Then you get a little gossip going on. And that was one of the things that was going around, is these guys were saying that Izzy's got a fight. And I am so curious in what direction they were going to go with Izzy. This is a star who is paid a pile of money. It is unbelievable to think he would be anywhere other than a pay-per-view. And it's unbelievable on a pay-per-view to believe he's going to be anything but a top spot. I may not be the top spot. You might have a title fight that can come in after. I mean, Rakhmonov and Gary showed us that, right? But it's very interesting who his opponent would be and why. I'd be fascinated by. So if you guys have that scoop, if you had that information, I really would appreciate if you gave me a link. Israel Adesanya. I'm curious. Who's he fighting?